cool.
They're not quite red. They're more honestly just a darker brown, but teetering on that,
Yeah.
red sort of thing.
Dude, those going to be some good-looking dogs as they grow up.
Yeah, dude. All the like real dark ones too are all girls.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Oh, well. Shit, shall we kick this off and start the show for these people?
I'm loading this Volcano right now, dude. About to fucking hop on the gondola.
Yes. Shout out to Kev. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you know what time it is. It's time to get into a Shedtime podcast. In 3, 2, 1, let's get it.
Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce you to Shedtime. What is Shedtime, you ask? Well, it's code for the consumption of cannabis, but it's much more than that. Shedtime's a state of mind. It's art, it's music, it's cryptocurrency, technology, it's food, it's vaping. It can be whatever you want it to be, as long as you're not letting the bastards get you down, not being a dick, and making it fun. When you're in the shed, it's whatever your mind allows you to create. So now let's get to the Shedtime podcast.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You know what time it is. It's time for another Shedtime podcast. And yes, it is another beautiful day here at the shed. I'm feeling energized. It's been a pretty good week. Spotify was looking out, threw me a daily mix that is just like perfect right now. All the good vibes are flowing. So you heard it in the beginning. Good vibes are flowing for James right now. How about you, Chris? You got some good vibes flowing right now?
I'm not going to complain. I'm definitely not going to
bad
complain.
Vibes.
No, yeah, there's like nothing too negative. I just put on the DJ, the AI DJ. I was like talking to Liz before, and I was like, I don't know what I want to start with. I don't know if I want to do a playlist. I just went with the DJ, bro. And he's like giving me 3 bangers in a row. So, okay.
Yeah, I'm actually going to throw on some tunes for this episode, too. I usually don't listen to anything while we stream, just because I know I get easily distracted. But I'm just turn this down here a little bit. Oh, dude.
I actually found that the music is
banger to start, though. Banger to start. Lock It Up. Eminem featuring Anderson .Paak.
Oh, shit.
If you guys haven't heard that song, highly recommend.
Dude, what was it? What was the one where he, like, rashes Diddy in the second verse? What the hell is the name of that song?
Oh, it's one of the new ones.
Yeah, with Bizarre and somebody else. I can't remember now.
Oh, here, I've actually got the Eminem record up right now, believe it or not.
I was listening to that joint the other day, like just trying to like really analyze the lyrics, and yo, that is so aggressive. I love it.
For some reason, I don't think it actually like credits Bizarre on it.
Maybe it was just the YouTube video that I was watching.
No, because there is a song where he's on it on the new album. I don't remember which one it is, but I don't think he's credited or something.
I'm trying to look it up right now because I can't remember, man. But that shit was just so fire. Antichrist.
Yeah, Antichrist. There it is.
There we go.
Yeah, for some reason, like on whatchamacallit, on Spotify, it doesn't have him credited.
Dude, the bars in that, the similes, the puns, like. There's a reason why Eminem is like one of the top MCs of our lifetime.
I guess really ever, because we've kind of been alive for the entire MC, pretty much.
That's fair. That's
like, I mean, I think for sure more than you, but like still.
Yeah.
The 90s on is most of the entire thing, so. like I guess there was rappers before.
Hip-hop.
Obviously, but like
hip hop started in like the late
70s.
late 70s, early 80s.
Yes, but I mean, like, I think that if you're from the 90s, that's like the majority of the time.
That's the
90s
golden age, bro.
Yeah, the 90s is when hip-hop breaks through, for sure.
Yeah, that's when it hits the mainstream, and it's not so much underground.
Yeah, exactly. It's not just relegated to house parties and shit anymore. It's on the radio. Like, it is its own movement now. Nationwide, coast to coast, every country, like hip hop is now a thing starting in the 90s for sure. And dude, those of us who got to experience 90s hip hop like as it was new, dude, that was some exciting times. I remember when Dre dropped Keep the Heads Ringing for that movie soundtrack, and like it was a huge deal. My father and uncle, who are like, my father's a redneck first and foremost. Even he was like, "Yo, we gotta watch this when it premieres. Like, this is a big deal. Dre's dropping something new since the Chronic. Like, we gotta check this out." Like, I always say, I have to credit my father for that because I grew up listening to Metallica and the Chronic at this, in the same truck with the same man. Like, he introduced me to a very wide, vast variety of music. So, like, as a kid, I got exposed to all of it. And, dude, like, that was such a come-up.
Whoa, that's weird, dude. I just looked at my Volcano, and it's set to 387, but somehow it's at 388. So it's somehow 1 degree over what I set it to.
Sneaks up on a degree somehow.
Oh, you know why? It's probably because I started turning it down while it was heating up. I will say, though, the blue O-rings that go on the top of the Volcano, I despise because, like, after a while, they don't want to stay on. So anytime you pull a bag off, they pop off and then they go flying. And then I've lost 8 of them.
Damn,
that's annoying.
Yeah, and now I have to use the one for the one of the smaller ones for the glacier tube. And it's honestly too big, so it gets stuck. But as long as I pull it off really slow, it stays at least on top of the Volcano and doesn't go flying all over the floor.
Can we talk for a second about when the inside of your bag starts to get sticky?
Oh, mine is right now.
Goddamn annoying that starts to get. Oh my god. Mine's so bad right now, and I keep putting it off buying a new pack, and I just need to buy a pack of bags and set up some new ones.
I just retired this one because look at all the buildup.
Oh, man. All right, I don't feel nearly as self-conscious about mine. Mine's
like, okay. Yeah, no,
mine's getting there. Mine's close.
Oh, no, yours looks like the one that I'm using right now.
Yeah. Like, I don't feel as self-conscious now. All right. Like, it's to the point when I'm using this thing, like, I will literally, as it starts to fill up, force the bag out. Like, I'll push down on it so that way, like, it expands so I can get better airflow. Because, like, there's a literal glass tube that you can kind of see right there on camera. And so, like, at this point where it's sticky, man, like, sometimes I feel like it could fill up a little bit quicker if that wasn't just so collapsed and stuck to itself.
Yeah, luckily this has got just a big wide open. Like, if I pull this out, it's got like the rubber grommet to stop, which honestly doesn't work anymore because I leave this thing in there all the time. So it's fucking like stuck open.
Between the hard oil that's getting into it and it just being trained that way, I'm sure.
Dude, this banana taffy is so good, dude.
I gotta say, though, it was very cool to get a DM from one of our listeners asking about this Airizer that I got because he's heard me talk about it and you talk about a Volcano. And I'll say the same thing I said when I was first looking into it and, what I was reading his review. And I will now say it is almost pound for pound a contender with the Volcano. The Volcano definitely is, I think, from my experience, using it with you guys, it is a faster heat up, a faster bag fill up for sure. That being said, you get what you pay for. You want to drive the Ferrari? Buy that Volcano. You will not be disappointed. But if you're happy with the Cadillac, get one of these.
Get yourself a Corolla.
Yo, Corolla.
That's what I'm ripping right now.
I was thinking
or a Camry.
Like at the beginning, I'm like, Ferrari and a Corvette, there's a pretty big difference. But like, they're both fast and they both are awesome.
I'm just saying because, like, dude, I was saying like a Corolla or a Camry or whatever because, dude, you could drive those motherfuckers forever, bro.
Dude, you drive a valid
and they
point.
work. They just work. You know what I mean? You don't get any of the frills, any of the extra special gadgets, but it gets you from A to B, and it's reliable. That's what I meant by it.
My wife's driving a Corolla right now that is, I think, 280,000 miles on it. And, dude, the thing runs like a top. It was well-maintained its entire life.
Keep up on the fucking maintenance, dude. Those things will run forever.
That's it.
But the thing is like, this is something interesting about cars that I learned recently, but it also just makes sense. It's like there's a point in time where in America there was like a shift to where like they're trying to get like the most money out of people as they could, so they'd sell you these super nice cars, but they wouldn't build them to last as much necessarily because they would want you to come back into the dealer to come and get them fixed, spend more money. But where out in like Japan and stuff where like Toyota and stuff is they know people aren't going to do services. They know they're not going to keep up with them, so they built them to take as much fucking shit as they could just to get you as much life out of it as you could without fucking keeping up with maintenance.
I mean, it's crazy, like working around cars as much as I do nowadays, like seeing some of the shit they're doing with some of these modern cars, it's mind-boggling. I had a electric Chevy Equinox in my shop today. This thing doesn't have an ignition. Like, there's no start button, no nothing. You get in the car, close the door, and because you're in it with the key fob, it says, okay, I'm ready to drive.
That's kind of crazy.
Like, that shit's wild. This thing is a poor man's Tesla. Like, it has the like cheesiest version of the hidden handles where like when you lock the car, the handles will suck into the body and they're not accessible. And then once you walk up to it with the fob, it just automatically opens so that you can open the doors. Like, it's totally trying to be a poor man's Tesla.
Dude, I see so many different types of electric cars out now.
The thing that kills me, though, is that, like, right now, out of all of these vehicles I'm seeing, your max range is a few hundred miles.
There's a few out that can get up to like 400 or 500 miles.
All I could think to myself,
which is about what you would get on a normal tank of gas in modern cars, depending on what you get.
But that's the thing, right? Is that I keep thinking to myself, like, I took a 600 plus mile trip out to Steel Valley, and if I had one of these electric vehicles, some of these vehicles don't have the ability to fast charge like Tesla does. So what do? You literally get stuck for 6 hours to try to get close to a full charge to make it the rest of your way.
I think they'd like, so I have like a bit of frame of reference on electric vehicles. Not that I own one, but my brother does. And so my brother is actually planning to drive to Ontario from Halifax, so it's like a 20-hour drive, maybe 19-hour drive. I don't know. It's far. And he's going to do it in his like Ford Lightning. And he doesn't think that it's going to be that much of a problem. Now, I think that Ford, like, I think struck a deal with like those Tesla charging stations, so like they can use like the faster chargers or whatever. And I think that like cars, it'll do a full charge in 30 minutes, and trucks is like 45 minutes to an hour or something. I'm guessing. I can't remember exactly what he said. But the truck's batteries are a lot bigger than the car ones. And so he thinks he's going to be able to do it. And
I actually know the charging speeds of a Ford Lightning because we sell a lot of them to police departments and stuff like that, specifically like environmental police. Shock, right? But with the standard portable wall charger, if I remember correctly, it's around 7 miles of range per hour. The next step up is 15 miles of range per hour. And then there's a step beyond that, which I think was 25 or 30 miles of range per hour. So that's based on like the basic Ford system that they have out for their main charging systems. So yeah, if you're able to find the Tesla fast charger and be able to use it in your vehicle, fuck yes, that won't be a problem. It will be a problem if you can't.
Yeah, like then you're just at the mercy of it. But most of those things that you can't are like going to be cars. And like I'm sure that most electric cars can probably do like 300 miles of range on the highway.
See, the other thing too, though, is right. Those numbers are based on you not using heat or air conditioning.
Well, sure. Like, I mean, so yeah, there's going to be times of year you don't need.
So that reduces your range. Like this is an issue we run into because like.
Well, then you just have to change your comfort level.
100%. But like this is an issue we run into in my field because I'm in the logistics of delivering cars. So like we have certain customers that their vehicle has to make it to its destination with an 80% charge, and like it becomes a physical impossibility to do it in a single day because to get it where it needs to go, it cannot physically have a 80% charge when it gets there. And so like we have to strategically plan it so that it goes to another shop of ours much closer to that destination, gets its top off charge so that way when it gets to the lot, it's at the 80% it's supposed to be at. Like it's an interesting thing, and I think as the infrastructure grows, it becomes more viable, but man, what a challenge long distance trips has to be right now if you don't have the ability to fast charge. It's crazy. So Godspeed and good luck to your brother. I really hope he's got a good plan worked out for that because.
Well, he's like he definitely drives around like here a bunch, and so he'll drive from Halifax to here, and there's like a charging station down the street from my sister's, so he just like parks his truck there overnight and like stays at my sister's house. He just like walks up to her house. But yeah, I mean, he's got a plan. The one thing that is kind of like working for him is the fact that he's driving on the Trans-Canada Highway. It's like the highway that will take you across Canada vibes. You know what I mean?
Right.
So if they're going to have the proper infrastructure for like people being able to use their electric cars, like it would be there. So there's probably going to be a good amount.
Not only that, I think most electric cars, like they actually, like when you set like your GPS up or whatever, like it'll tell you like where you may need to stop along the way in order to get there without running out of a charge. I know Tesla does for sure.
There's probably a paid feature from Ford and Chevy. For an extra $35 a month, we'll tell you where all the charging stations are hidden. Anything to make it.
Well, like I said, right? I think that Ford got somehow in with like the Tesla supercharging station vibes or whatever. I don't know if Chevy has. Or
I remember there was something about making most electric vehicles be able to use the Tesla charge. I know, like, the Chevy I have at my shop does not have the feature, but a Lightning I just recently pulled up that someone's going to be building soon does. And it's kind of cool because literally all it is a flap underneath your charging point that you pull down, and it opens 2 more ports to accept the Tesla charger. So, like, it's simple, but I've had some older models before all that was established that don't have it. And I've got new ones that do.
I think there's like adapters and things now that you can get though.
I'm sure there are. I mean, if there isn't, somebody smarter than me needs to jump on that shit. Elon Musk isn't already selling it.
I'm pretty sure there's like a few that are out there that like you could hook up to a Tesla charger and use it in your car, even if it's not a Tesla sort of thing.
Because I'll tell you what, dude, that Lightning, that's a fast goddamn truck. Right?
Dude, anything electric, honestly, is going to be fast, dude.
They
You got to think about it. It's instant torque, dude.
I've actually never even been in my brother's.
I've never even been in an electric car, I don't think.
Bro, like I said, because
I've been in a hybrid, but I've never been in a fully electric car.
Yeah, like they scoot. Like I've got Mach-E's on my lot, I've got Lightnings on my lot, and they move, dude. Like it's exactly what James just said. Like it's instant torque. So like it's all the fun of having a turbo. And then the crazy thing is that specifically the Lightnings, 'cause I don't think it was a feature they had in these Mach-E's that we have currently. They have this braking feature where as soon as you're letting off the gas, you're braking. So instead of the like roll time, the car is immediately slowing you down. And it's, I'm assuming based on the fact that, you're cutting power, so we're just reducing, the gear basically. But extremely great safety feature for people who need it. It's something that if you don't want it and you want to be able to get that roll, you can have it. But if you want dead stop idles all the time, you can get it. That's crazy. Or one of the trippiest ones, forgetting to put your car in park. The Lightning, it's got a normal shifter. You forget to put that joint in park, as soon as you turn off the car, it literally shifts to park. The whole shifter moves into the park position for you.
That's crazy.
Like, there's some definite pros to some of the tech that they're putting into these things. 100%. Automatic parking brakes, where they enable the second that you put your car in park. And then if you're prone to forgetting your parking brake is on, once you tap the gas, it like gauges what's going on for a second and then releases the parking brake. It's a little sketchy because now if you're in an accident, your parking brake is permanently engaged and there's nothing you can do. Your car is immobile. But from a safety perspective, I think it does a lot more good than it does harm. So it makes it harder to tow your vehicle. Shucks. Probably saved a bunch more lives.
Dude, I really hope I never drive an electric car.
I think it's like this. Maybe you should try driving one, but you would never want to own one. I know that for 100%.
Dude, I just like, if I got a rental and it was an electric and I wasn't doing some big road trip, that'd be fine. Like, I would try driving one. But, like, I'll never own one. It'll never be, like, a daily driver for me, like, nothing.
Like,
dude,
literally...
I need a fucking manual, bro. I refuse to give up on a manual. I'm going to drive a manual until I literally cannot possibly drive a manual. Like, it's illegal.
Chris gonna be out here driving big rigs because it's the only thing left with a manual transmission. Like, fuck y'all.
Well, dude, by that time, bro, they'll be driving. The big rigs will be driving themselves, dude.
Yeah, you ain't wrong. You are not wrong. We are dangerously close to that already.
Well, I think that they already have like
They have a few
bunch
of them
of
already.
automatic like semis.
Yeah, we are quickly getting to driver assisted instead of driver assist technology. It's like the driver's just there in case the computer makes a mistake, instead of the computer is there in case the driver makes a mistake.
Well, man, I'll tell you what, the 3 Nissan Qashqai, which you guys don't have, but it's like whatever between, it's like the middle between a Nissan Rogue and whatever their smallest SUV is. They're up here, it's called the Kicks. And dude, this thing is pretty loaded, but it'll kind of just drive itself. The only thing it'll do is it'll start beeping at you. And it'll like basically say like, if you don't like start to fucking drive, we're gonna like kill the car. Like, it's gonna slow down. You know what I mean? So like, because I can just drive and it'll like go and it'll like kind of hold the lanes pretty good. And then eventually it's like, wait, nobody's given any feedback to this wheel. We need to alarm people. Maybe they've fallen asleep. And then it'll like do that for a while. And they'll definitely kick it out of cruise control.
It's like, oh, hey, maybe we should slow this guy down. And pretty soon it'll be pulling the motherfucker over into the breakdown lane, throwing the hazards on and being like, help, help.
Yeah, because like even my 2023 Sentra, it has it, but it's like really shit compared to the Qashqai. Like it'll like, you'll feel a touch of feedback if you go to change lanes and you don't put your signal on. You'll like turn the wheel and it'll be like the tiniest little brake.
Oh yeah, my car does that too.
But like in the Qashqai, when you do it, it'll do the same brake. But if you have your hand off the wheel, it'll like prevent you from going over. I don't think that my Sentra will. I think my Sentra will just beep and vibrate at me. That's it.
It'll bump you a little bit, but it won't like fully adjust.
Yeah. So like, I guess we're getting pretty close.
Mine will start beeping at me if I start like going over the line a little bit.
Yeah, unless you have your signal on, right?
Yeah.
But if you have your signal, it's like, no, that's cool.
You can turn it off.
If there's nobody in your blind spot.
Yeah, you can turn it off if it annoys you. I did for a while, but then I ended up turning it back on because it actually is just nice just to have around, you know?
Just a reminder.
Not only that, but it's got like the like front impact detection or whatever. It's where like it'll start slowing down if it notices like something's too close or something.
Yeah, my car
that shit's scary when you don't know it's there.
Dude, you know what's harsh? Is actually when that's working and then you hit the brake.
Oh god.
It'll like make you aggressively brake for like half of a second. It'll be just like a fucking not, it won't lock it up, but like,
yeah. It does kind of give you a little.
It gives you an extra jolt.
Yeah, a little bump.
Yeah. The first time that happened to me, I was like, what the fuck? I thought I was fucking going to crash the car.
I had one of my drivers come rushing in one day going, yo, that car just wildly jerks to the right. And then I got into it and I realized, yeah, no, it's just lane assist and you're too wildly close to the left, honey. It's like, no, don't crash into oncoming traffic, please. Move the fuck over.
Pick the middle of the lane. It's the best spot. Yeah, sometimes there's just the grooves, but guess what? Nobody's gonna fucking hit you just by chance. It'll take extra to hit you.
Like on some of these roads, they put rumble strip on the yellow line too, so it's like, honey, that rumble strip, you're not supposed to feel them.
No, dude, it's called driving by braille, dude.
I had a buddy that used to do shit like that. It was scary as hell. Oh god, motherfucker!
I used to do all kinds of
shit,
all kinds of stupid shit while I was driving. Now I'm just like, dude, it's not worth it. I'm gonna fucking keep at least one hand on the wheel. And I'll put it in cruise control, like if I'm on the highway, you know what I mean? And I got to like a stretch. Mainly just so I don't speed. Because sometimes I don't realize how fast I'm going. So I'm like, all right, what's the speed limit? All right, let me do that. Maybe 5 over and good. And I try not to be in like any fast lanes. Like I try to stay in like the slow lanes until I got to get around somebody. Just so I don't have to fucking deal with anybody riding my ass. But then, dude, what's the worst is when you're even like going over the speed limit a little bit, like maybe like 10, you know what I mean? Like you're in like a 70 and you're going 80 and some dude's like on your ass flicking his lights at you. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Get out of my way. It's like, dude, I'm already going 10 over the speed limit. How much faster do you want to go?
I'm kind of the guy who has a tendency to do 80 when I shouldn't. But I agree. Like, if I'm doing 80 in a fast lane and you're going to whip around me, what are you that in a hurry for? You need to do 95, 100.
Yeah.
Like, I know that, honestly, dude, that's fast. Like you don't see many people going that fast here. I'll tell you that. Definitely not.
Dude, that
like
so
I don't think that I see people that are doing like 140 kilometers an hour. I feel like you will see people doing that. But like, dude, 100 miles an hour is 160. Nah, I might see like one car every couple months that'll just zip by when I'm doing like 120 and they're doing probably like 180. Like, but it's not common. Yeah, like if you commuted to your job every day, you would not see that every day.
Yeah, no way. It's a regular thing here, man.
There are a few times where in my younger days where I got cars up to about 100 and something, and they probably shouldn't have been going that fast. But
definitely. But I'm not saying that I never sped. I sped, definitely. I went way too fast, just like you said. In cars, I probably shouldn't have went that fast. And
dude, I got a Ford Escort up to like one something, bro. Quite a few times.
That's how I caught my ticket coming home from NVE,
though, bro. Oh. No, but dude, I did all my stupid driving in my younger days. Thank God. Luckily, I didn't kill myself. I did end up getting into a few accidents. Not all were my fault, but there was a couple that like I probably could have avoided if I was paying more attention.
Dude, it's hilarious because like I definitely did the majority of my speeding in cars that I bought for like less than $1,500.
Oh yeah,
all the time,
dude.
Like,
exactly. Once I started getting brand new cars, bro, it's like this one I might do it one time just to feel it in this car and see it, and then after that, it's like okay, I'm good now. And then it's just like I'm chilling.
Dude, my last car I had for like 10 years or over 10 years. And the fastest I ever drove it was when I was on a racetrack. When I like took it to Watkins Glen. And that was the fastest I ever went. Other than that, I probably did like 100 miles an hour like once on the streets in that car over 10 years.
I did it a lot in the Saab. It was easy. The turbo just got you there so quickly.
It's crazy, dude. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Sean.
Like I said, that's how I got that ticket coming back from NVE. Just empty highway and not paying attention. And all of a sudden I realized that there's headlights in the median and I'm doing 100. I should probably back up off this gas and pull over because I'm getting a speeding ticket now. By the time he clocked me, I was still doing 90-something, and that was a 55, I think.
Oh, a 55.
Yeah.
Even better. Nice.
So, that was bad. That was a bad hit. Your boy spent $400. I can't remember offhand. High 300s maybe. Because there was no way I was fighting a ticket in a state that would take me 3-4 hour drive just to go to court. Like, no. I'm just going to pay the fine.
Exactly. How much are you going to save, you know? I guess like your insurance, maybe. I don't know.
Well, shit. When you're talking that much money, you're going to save a lot. Even if it's fucking, $50, it's still a big deal when you're spending like $300+ on a speeding ticket.
True.
No, honestly, there's that weird thing that was with the Saab that I think saved me slightly. So there's that. The license plate that got the speeding ticket was not the license plate, or was not the same number as the registration of that car.
Yes, I remember hearing that story. It's like some weird.
Yeah.
I don't even remember like exactly. I just remember being so confused by it.
The one digit was wrong on my reg. So it was like the first number was a 1 on my reg, and I think my plate was a 7.
Weird.
Yeah, I don't know how they fucked it up, but they did. And I suspect that was kind of one of the things that saved my ass on that, was that ticket went on that plate, and that's not the plate that the Saab was registered to. When they searched that plate, nothing came up. So
That doesn't sound like fun.
Yeah. See, that to me, like, driving fast, I get it. I get the thrill of it. But, dude, it is not worth the risk to life. It is not worth the financial risk. Like, you want to drive fast, there are so many ways you can do it appropriately. Race tracks, things like that. There's, shout out to the homie Michelle Lynn. You know what I mean? Like, there's virtual racing where you can go full on Sims and get the full driving experience if you want to go that deep into it. Like, talk about a safe way to get your speed fix.
Yeah, it's just crazy, dude. Because, like, when you're a kid, you don't think about, like, fucking the consequences and shit and, like, what could happen. You know what I mean? You hear stories or whatever, but you're like, oh, that can, but not me. You know what I mean? And, like, as you get older, you're just, like, sitting there, and then you continue to see these things, and then you realize, oh, yeah, that could happen to me if I continue to fucking act a fool. You know what I mean? Some bad shit could happen. You know what I mean? I'm not paying attention. I'm looking over here. I'm fucking going too fast. I'm, whatever. You know what I mean? So I now fucking pull up wherever I'm going on GPS, figure out where I'm going, and then I just fucking pick a lane, fucking hit the cruise control, and I'll chill until I need to either switch lanes to merge somewhere else or to exit.
I'll say lately, the issue I'm seeing with traffic around my way isn't even speeding. Like, yeah, you have the assholes.
For me, it's slow driving.
But yeah, it's just slow driving. We're in a 60 mile an hour zone doing 45 for absolutely no reason. The weather's fine. The traffic isn't that bad. Like, if we all did the speed limit, we'd all be fine.
Dude, that's the worst, because that's when my road rage comes out, like, the most. Is like, because it's usually in the morning on my way to work, and it'll be like the day I'm like running a few minutes late, and it's like, all right, I need to go at least the speed limit to make sure I get there on time, and not just the lonely, or, you know what I mean, just like fucking cruising. Like, I need to go that, maybe even like 5 over, just to, to shave off a minute or two. But, like, dude, and then you get behind the guy going 25 into 45, and you got to follow him for like 4 blocks.
I had the big industrial truck.
Can't get around him.
No passing zones. He couldn't go faster than 10 or 15 under the speed limit, and we were just stuck for a solid 10 miles behind this guy. Like, breathe in your diesel fumes, wishing you would turn off. Yeah, it's crazy. I start to wonder, like, is it the technology? Is it too much technology now? Is that why Like, is it a ton of distracted driving? Is that what's going on?
Oh, it's a lot of that.
Like,
There's definitely a lot of that.
it's definitely a lot of that for sure. It's like, it boggles my mind that the text message can't wait, or that having a headset is such an imposition for you to take that phone call. Like, I'm in a state where there are hands-free laws where, like, if the police see you with a phone to your ear while you're driving, you can be pulled over.
Oh, yeah, same here.
Yeah, same, sir.
You know, I know it's not that way in every state in the U.S., so, you know, I'm sure some of our listeners are listening into that going, that's fucking crazy. But yeah, as you can see, like, all three of us, that's just a familiarity. There's distracted driving laws where we are.
It's like serious demerit points, too.
And, like, the crazy thing is that, like, you can watch video after video, I'm sure, out of California, Massachusetts, and I'm sure even Canada, where it's like actual police officers driving with a phone to their ear.
Yeah, all the
you know,
time.
like
That's because they think they're above the laws.
It's infuriating, and like, I don't know about California, but I feel like it doesn't get enforced here, and so like it's frustrating because it encourages people to keep doing it.
I feel like it does and it doesn't, you know what I mean? And most of the time it doesn't get addressed until it's too late and something bad happens.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I mean?
Like,
I've known people that have gotten the ticket for distracted driving, like for like texting and driving or whatever. But like I've personally not seen like cops like really looking for it. I don't know.
that's like, we have one in Massachusetts. I don't know if this is the same where you guys are, where if it is raining, if you need your wipers on, you have to have your headlights on.
Yeah. Anytime your wipers are on, you have to have your headlights on, I think. Like, you know what I mean? If you need your wipers, you need your headlights.
Yeah.
Not like clearing out like a bug smear from like you smacking it, like not that kind of thing.
Right,
but, like,
right, yeah. But like if it's raining, if you have to put your wipers on, you got to have your headlights on.
That's so weird.
But the idea is that, like, if you've ever been driving down the street while it's raining, you got your wipers on, and there's a car coming behind you that's, let's say, silver or gray, it kind of just disappears into the road in your rearview mirror. But at least with their headlights on, they're a little more noticeable. You can see, you know, you're a little more aware of the cars around you. Black cars in the rain at night. Again, similar
at night,
right? But
it makes sense.
But it gets intensified when you have the rain. So like even during the day, it can be difficult to recognize vehicles. So it's a law. Just have your headlights on. It's not enforced in Massachusetts, but it's a law. And it's like, damn it, that's what I want to see enforced, because like it is such a simple thing that we should all do just for the simple safety of it all. Like it makes you more visible. It's not hard. But now here's the challenge. This is where the tech comes in and screws us. A lot of cars have automatic headlights.
I was gonna say my car automatically comes on or off depending on, you know,
exactly. And if it's not like dark, real heavy rainstorm dark during the midday, it's not dark enough for your auto headlights to kick on.
It might. I don't know. It depends. Like I feel like an overcast day that's raining, mine are on. Because like sometimes it'll even be like in the evening, and like the sun will like kind of go behind some trees, and it'll like turn them off. It'll turn them on. Because you'll see your dash lights turn on, and it's like actually making not just your daytime runners on anymore.
Interesting, because I've not experienced that with any of the cars that I've messed with. Just like, you know, again, through work in my experience with this stuff. It's something that like with all the vehicles that we deal with, we have to routinely turn them on rainy days for that very reason. Because like,
yeah, like if it was like a really sunny day and it's like a sun shower, then yeah, no, it's not going to turn them on.
Yeah, no, I'm talking like gray skies, cloudy, and just raining.
Yeah, no, mine will definitely be on.
Yeah, like the Fords and the Chevys that we work with on a regular basis and the Dodges, I've never seen any of them be that sensitive. So that's dope that yours is.
Yeah.
Dude, my fucking whole car, like the screen on my dash will go into fucking change modes if I go under a bridge from day to nighttime mode, to where the light dims and it like swaps like from like, it's like it almost like gets darker.
Well, yeah, because obviously you don't want to be blinded by your dash when it's already dark. So it makes sense. That's interesting.
What mainly happens is because I usually have Waze up and I notice it, and then the background on Waze changes from white to gray.
Yeah.
Because day to night.
Night mode, yeah. I noticed that with like tunnels on my GPS. I go through a tunnel, it's like, hey, night mode. It's like, no, we're just in a tunnel, bud. It's okay. And then, of course, it just loses connection because now we're under the water and fuck me. Hope I wasn't supposed to take one of these exits.
Dude, I've never driven under, or like in a tunnel through underwater. That'd be crazy.
Yeah, that like when you got to go into Boston and shit from this end of town, you got to go under the Charles River, and so you actually go under the whole river, and it's like driving in any other tunnel, really. You know?
Yeah, the choice to go under instead of over is interesting.
Yeah, it was a decision to help get through traffic through the city, because going surface streets to get to the other side is obviously already hella congested. Now you try to run everybody through there, like you couldn't do it. So they chose to do the Big Dig, as it's affectionately known in Boston history, and it was some like, I think it was supposed to be like a 10-year project, and it turned into like a 30-year project, and it went like disastrously over budget. Cost the city like millions, if not trillions of dollars in the end. Like, Boston Big Dig. We're going to Google it and get the facts real quick, because it's pretty friggin' incredible. And shout out to all the sandhogs who worked on the Big Dig. I happen to know a great man who did a lot of work during that, and he is severely injured from his tunnel work. So, you know, he gave it his all, for real. But according to the Wikipedia, it says the Big Dig was a mega project in Boston that rerouted then elevated central artery of Interstate 93 that cut across Boston into the O'Neill Tunnel, and built the Ted Williams Tunnel to extend Interstate 90 to Logan International Airport. These two projects were the origin of the official name, the Central Artery Tunnel Project. Additionally, the project constructed the Zakim Bunker Hill Bridge over the Charles River, created the Rose Kennedy Greenway in the space vacated by the previous I-93 elevated roadway, and funded more than a dozen projects to improve the region's public transportation system. Planning for the project began in 1982. The construction work was carried out between 1991 and 2006. And the project concluded on December 31st, 2007. The project's general contractor was Betchel and Parsons and Brickenhoff, was the engineer, who worked as a consortium, both overseen by the Massachusetts Highway Department. Let's see, here we go. Here's the money. The project was originally scheduled to be completed in 1998 at an estimated cost of $2.8 billion. That would be $7.4 billion adjusted for inflation with 2020 money. However, the project was completed in December 2007 at a cost of over $8.08 billion. In 1982 dollars, so that's $21.5 billion adjusted for inflation. About a cost overrun of about 190%.
Wow.
Yeah. But you don't have to drive through the city. You can go under and get through to the other side, which is still tedious because there's too many people trying to get through the city at any given time, but at least it's not as bad as it could be. And we have the Zakum Bridge, which is that really pretty bridge that gets photographed all the time. The big white bridge that they light up with all the cool colors. Yep. Boston history for you right there.
The more you know.
I wish I had that sound effect. We'll have to go digging for that one. I'm sure it's out there somewhere.
I remember, like, just by you saying, like, going over budget, it, like, made me remember something. So, like, this area, there was, like, I don't know, we'll say it was about an hour away from where I lived before I moved here. And they had this bridge. There was, like, on a main roadway that connected, like, these two other highways. But they're, like, when I say highways, I mean, like, country highways. Right, like not like they're country roads, but they're like a higher speed limit country road. Anyways, so there was this bridge, and the bridge was like out. It was going under construction, and this was in like this was pre-pandemic, and like so it was probably like 2018, 2019. So they took the bridge out, and they like started to work on this bridge. Then I think that like they got most of the bridge done, and then they never actually opened the bridge because the people that bid and won didn't know what they were doing, I guess, and so like the bridge was faulty, and then it was like in this fucking court case for fucking years, trying to figure this shit out, and there was like this detour on a fucking dirt road for years, dude. Like honestly, to this day. I have no idea if it, like, because last spring, so like a year ago, so spring of 2023, it was still out.
Jesus Christ.
So it's been out for like almost 5 years. And it used to drive me nuts because I would have to do deliveries, and I'd be doing deliveries, and I'd be on the south side of this bridge, and then there'd be shit to be like way east, so I'd have to like cut over super far west, go on this like dirt road. All these fucking like zips and fucking zags. I don't even know. Zips. Yeah.
Zigs and zags.
Zigs and zags. Thank you. And it would take me probably like an extra 40 fucking minutes than if I could have just driven straight up this fucking road. I remember just thinking like, this is so dumb. Like, how can they not have just like put a fucking bridge in by now? Fucking bullshit. It probably only affected like 1,000 cars in a week, but still, like, come on.
You're talking about bridges. This is one from New England. This is the Washington Bridge in Rhode Island. I just had to pull up an AP article because again I wanted to really get like these facts straight about this because this is ridiculous. But basically. Reader's Digest version of this is that this bridge was just recently constructed and similarly with faulty materials and methods and now has to be demolished and rebuilt all over again. And this one connects the capital to like a whole other part of the state of Rhode Island. So, similar and crazy story. The cost to demolish and replace the bridge should come in between $250 million and $300 million.
That's crazy, dude.
Yeah, like insane. Like this thing takes one of the. It carries Interstate 195 over the Seekonk River from Providence to East Providence and serves as a key gateway to Providence. And this new bridge is already failing and is going to cost upwards of $300 million of the taxpayers' money to replace. This one carries nearly 100,000 vehicles every day. But it's crazy. It's literally crazy. Like they just did a ton of work to it, just rehabbed it, and now it's like, nope, none of that did any good. We're going to have to tear the whole fucking thing down.
That happens when you cut corners, man.
Like... It's insane. It's insane. So it sucks to be a Rhode Islander, but as a Massachusetts resident, it just sucks to be a Rhode Islander in general. Never mind with the Washington Bridge being an issue. Like, that's got to be tough. You're the smallest state in the union.
I got no one to speak up for him, man.
You know, like, you get like one representative out there in Washington holding it down for you, and that's it. You're basically looked at as Massachusetts' little brother. You know, you're pretty much in the armpit of the state, just kind of getting a noogie the whole time. Like, it's got to be tough. And then you got pretentious-ass Connecticut right next door. Like, look at us.
Dude, somebody I know said that, like, they actually don't think that Rhode Island's real because they've not once in their life met anyone from Rhode Island. Like, they've never met anybody, like, where are you from? And they say Rhode Island. So
that's like, because people who are from Rhode Island don't admit it. No, I've met a few people from Rhode Island, obviously. They are real people. They do exist. It is a real place. And fun fact for all of you out there, though Quahog, Rhode Island is not a real place in Rhode Island, the big blue bug that was featured in the very first season is a real place. And that is a real Rhode Island landmark that you can see on the highway as you enter into the state of Rhode Island. So that's 100% a real thing, and like Rhode Islanders love that thing. They swear by it. They'll fight for it. The big blue bug is Rhode Island.
Is that like that was from a show?
So it's a real thing, but they actually feature it in the first season of Family Guy.
Oh, that's why I would know it. Okay.
Yeah, like they actually show it, I think, in like the first couple of episodes in that first season, as I recall. But it is a real thing. It is not a just made up thing like so much of Family Guy. It really does exist. There's actually a dude on YouTube. His name is Jason Allred, and he has a little mini documentary on the history of the blue bug in Rhode Island. And it's this crazy like story of just needing a way to like advertise the exterminator's shop that's there, that it's on the roof of, and them erecting this thing on the roof, and it literally becoming like this landmark of Rhode Island and becoming a cultural icon.
It's pretty crazy.
Is that where the Griffins are supposed to live, in Rhode Island?
Yeah, they're from Quahog, Rhode Island.
Oh, okay.
Supposedly.
Like I said, Quahog is not a real place in Rhode Island. But that big blue bug really does exist. And I believe it's in Pawtucket.
I only know of Providence.
As you would, it's the capital.
Okay. I feel like that's the only place that I know or would even recognize.
It's like this. Providence, Rhode Island is so small that Providence being the capital, it's literally in the middle of a cloverleaf intersection. It's like you have a cloverleaf intersection, and here's Providence, Rhode Island, just kind of hanging off one of the leaves. Just, here we go. I'm right here. Gotta go under the cloverleaf to get on the other side of me. Like, that's where I got married. So I feel like I'm justified to speak about it with such ridiculousness. I mean, Rhode Island's got some cool shit. There's a lot of whaling history there. A lot of pirate history as well. Where I got married, I learned there are a lot of like old sunken pirate ships right there in the bay. So that was pretty cool to find out.
Down by the bay. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. There were no watermelons growing.
I got all these kid songs stuck in my head lately, dude. You know what I mean?
I've just got to say, that's one of my favorite ones because it's so easy to get stuck in people's heads.
Oh, what about Rumpelstiltskin, bro? Or no, Michael Finnegan.
I don't know
Once
nothing
was a
about
kid
that.
named Michael Finnegan. He grew
Something,
whiskers on
something,
his chin
okay,
again.
something.
He shaved them off and they grew in again. Poor old Michael Finnegan. Begin again. And then you're singing over and over again.
I
You don't know that one?
I don't believe I remembered that. No.
I wouldn't have remembered as much as James, but like I do remember.
Well, I know my mom's been singing it to my nephew a lot lately, so it's like stuck in my head too.
Yeah.
So it's fresh.
Yeah.
Okay.
But even then, like, it's one of those core ones that still sticks with me because she sang. There's again one she sang to me when I was a kid.
Oh my God! I just realized what we used to sing to that. Holy crap! That is very politically incorrect now. Holy shit! The version that I grew up with was 1 little, 2 little, 3 little Indians, 4 little, 5 little, 6 little Indians.
I remember that.
Yeah, I never heard that one.
That was the version I grew up. Holy shit!
Yeah,
actually, I can remember that perfectly. Now that you say it like that. Yeah.
There's honestly a lot of
10
songs.
little Indian squabs.
There's a lot of songs back in the day that like they all kind of shared the same tune.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, was it Happy Birthday and something else, right?
I'm sure I can't remember off the top of my head, but.
Or is it Twinkle Twinkle Little Star? It's there's something like that where one of those nursery rhymes, like it's the exact same tune as something else that everybody
Twinkle
knows.
Twinkle Little Star and Baa Baa Black Sheep are the same.
There it is. Yep, that's the one.
There maybe is more, but that's one I remember off the top of my head.
Yep. And then that shit gets really weird because then you start looking into the history of those nursery rhyme songs like that, and you find out that the verses that we never sang as children, they get really dark and weird.
Well, it's like Ring Around the Rosie, dude. Little did we know it's about the Black Plague.
Exactly. Like,
a lot of those were kind of came out of crazy times. Dude, there's this one about a turtle that I used to love when I was a kid. Now I can't remember it.
just the thought, I had to go look and see like what the other verses for Ring Around the Rosie actually are. And it does look like it gets a little weird, because it goes ring around the rosies, a pocket full of posies, ashes, ashes, we all fall down. You repeat, and then skip around the rosy, hop, fly, crawl, run, tiptoe, gallop. Like, there's another version here. It says ring around the rosies, pocket full of posies, ashes, ashes, we all fall down. The ghosts are in the meadow, eating buttercups, ashes, ashes, we all jump up. There's another version here that it's the normal first verse that we know, and then it's the cows are in the meadow, eating buttercups, thunder, lightning, we all jump up.
It's a buttercup.
Some of these
I wonder what they're referencing when they're talking about buttercups.
Probably the flowers.
Oh, that's a flower.
Yeah.
Yep.
Didn't know that.
They're like little yellow flowers.
Almost like a daisy.
No,
No,
it's like
they're like
the whole flower is probably like the size of my thumb, like the top part of my thumb. Like they're small, but they're like just wild little flowers.
yeah.
Actually, when you're a kid, they used to always like say that if you held a buttercup underneath your chin, if it glowed, you loved butter. And so when if you held it, it would like actually the sun would like refract off of it, and it would like make like a pure like yellow spot on your chin.
Yeah, the leaves are like really shiny, almost like they're waxed. So yeah, like you would hold it under the chin and 100% reflect yellow. And I remember that shit distinctly.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right, I'm distracted because I'm trying to fill up another bag.
Sorry, I was just pulling up some of the dark and weird other nursery rhymes that we remember growing up with, and like "Mary, Mary, quite contrary."
I don't remember that one.
How does your garden grow?
Yep. Get out of here with your pop-ups. Here we go. Oh, there's a gripe when a pop-up starts the whole website back to the top. But it says, the Mary, Mary, quite contrary might be about Bloody Mary, daughter of Henry VIII, and her murder of Protestants. Some say that the garden is a reference to the graveyards that were filling with martyred Protestants under her reign, while the silver bells represent thumb screws and cockle shells are instruments of torture attached to the male genitals. Are those pretty maids? They could be the people.
Hold on, wait. Did you just say genitals instead of genitalia?
Yeah, because it was cockle shells.
Genitals?
Yeah, because cockle shells and genitals.
I just didn't want to have Chris feel like I only call him out when he says shit weird. So I'm going to make sure I call you out too.
Yep. Cockle shells and genitals. But yeah, so there's one.
Well, never mind. I'm going to leave that alone.
How about that Baba Black Sheep? The popular and pastoral nursery rhyme has been around, it seems, since the mid-18th century, or in any case, the earliest printed version of Baba Black Sheep dates from around the year 1744. In the nearly 3 centuries since, the rhyme's lyrics have barely changed. As for the tune, it's sung to a variant of the 18th century French melody, Avu. Oh yeah, I'm not even going to act like I could pronounce French words. I don't have them.
Come on.
Yeah. A vous dirais-je, maman? There you go. That's my best attempt at it, which is a slightly different tune than Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. So, Baba Black Sheep, have you any wool? Yes, sir, 3 bags full. What does it all mean? What's on the surface is a very clear and transparent story of a simple transaction. As with all other seemingly innocent entrants on the list, carries some darker concurrents or undercurrents. Some speculate that the song may be about the resentment felt by both buyers and traders towards the heavy tax levied on wool in England. In more recent academics, historians and nursery rhyme watchers have speculated the lyrics may be in some way connected to the slave trade, particularly as it flourished in the southern states of America. So what else do we got here? 3 Blind Mice is a tale of a vicious, knife-wielding farmer's wife. Was she really a farmer's wife? And were her helpless victims really mice? One theory holds that they represent 3 Protestant loyalists who are accused of plotting against the Catholic Queen Mary in the 16th century. She didn't cut off their tails, though. Instead, she burnt them at the stakes. London Bridge is falling down. I think we all get that. It's literally about a bridge falling. That's actually a devastating thing. More bridge talk. A lot of bridge talk today.
Right, bridges.
Infrastructure. Humpty Dumpty. Story goes that a shot from a parliamentary cannon succeeded in damaging the wall beneath Humpty Dumpty, causing it to tumble to the ground. Despite the royalists, all the king's men, attempting to raise Humpty Dumpty back up again, it was so heavy that they couldn't put Humpty together again. So apparently that has its roots in the English Civil War. And this Rockabye Baby. I mean, that's, again, pretty horrific. You've got a baby in a crib in a tree, and when the bough breaks, the cradle will fall. Down will come baby, cradle and all. That's just child abuse.
Sounds like just murder.
What should they be doing in a tree, first off?
I mean, it's definitely negligent parenting, if nothing else. Like, what kind of tree-dwelling people are we talking about? Are we going back to caveman era? I don't think they had cradles.
No.
Shout out to the tree people. If any tree people are listening to this podcast, which probably isn't very likely because tree people tend to reject most technology, this is in no way a disrespect to you.
Because tree people tend to...
I know some tree people who have gone back to non-feral ways. Shout out to the brothers. Again, I know they're not going to listen to this podcast ever, but the Hunter brothers are a riot. And if they ever go feral again, I hope they find me, because they're just a riot to hang out with. And when I say they go feral, I mean like stop wearing shoes, hobo life, jumping fucking freight cars across the country to, wherever they can find their next place to lay their head for the night. They just go complete nomad. And honestly, I kind of respect somebody who's like, I'm going to do that for a period of my life, and then suddenly just return back to society and get a job and, settle down for a while. Always knowing there's probably a day he's going to, fuck it, quitting my job, we're going car hopping.
Yeah. I mean, I personally could never do that, but I can see the draw, though.
I follow a dude on YouTube out in like the Baltic regions who does it, and it does seem so fucking cool. Like, he just carries like a backpack with a small tent and like a hammock, and that's about it. A little bit of camping, like a little camp stove, some food, and he just tries to get enough money to eat for a few days, and then just go on a wild adventure, do whatever the fuck he wants. Wherever he lands, that's where he'll set up a camp for the night. It's kind of dope.
I actually remember when I was a teenager, there was like this like group of friends from Australia. They're probably like, I'm gonna say they're probably in their like mid-20s, and there's 5 of them, and they came to Canada, and they were like, we're just gonna try to find like some seasonal work. We have like work permits for like a year, and so they got jobs at like a ski resort out west, and so they're staying at the resort, so they don't have to worry about like finding a place to live, and they're just like working as like lifties at this resort. And then when like the summer came, obviously like a lot of the resorts were closed, so they're like, fuck it, like we've been in like BC for like 3 months, like let's go east. And so they like came to Toronto for the summertime, and like these dudes just, I guess, saved up enough money that they bought this like fucking, I don't know, I'd say probably like mid 80s to early 80s, and this would be like closer to 2000, like camper van, but it was like one of the small camper vans that just had like the popped up roof. Like, so there'd be like one bed that would be in the like pop up roof, and then there'd be like a couple beds on the rest. And dude, these guys were living in the parking lot, and they got a job where I worked at, and they're all lifeguards, and they would fucking sleep in the parking lot in this thing. And they were like saving up money because they were going to like go to like Montreal or somewhere for like a month or so, and they didn't want to work. They just wanted to like save up enough money at this job in Toronto collectively to then go. And like these guys were going to like go back out west in the wintertime. Like, dude, it was crazy, bro. I was jealous of it though. I was like, yo, can you imagine even being from here doing that would be dope. Like,
well, it's the thing, right?
Let
It's
alone
like
the fact that they're from Australia.
there's just like, you have, at that point, you have no attachment to most material things. It's just living for experience at that moment.
Yeah, oh, for sure. Because I'm sure they had things in Australia, you know? It's not like they were going forever. They just were
let's think it. Like, who knows? Like, if you're going to do that, maybe you have very few things in Australia too. Because, like, let's face it, like, you're not going to leave a house unattended for a year and a car and all those things.
But like
so,
some of your personal items, you might. I don't know.
So, like, but that's the thing. Like, you might just be like, "All right, fam, I love y'all. I'm gonna go get this work visa and just leave the country for a year and just kind of, backpack it across the country and make ends meet. I'll come be a real member of society when I get back. Like,
dude,
gonna drop out
don't
for
even
a
go
bit.
back. There's like there's a couple of people that I've known, that are from Australia specifically, and like they came over and like they ended up just staying here. Like a lot of the times they like end up like finding like a spouse or a future spouse or whatever, and they just would stay, and then they end up getting married, and then they're legally allowed to be here.
Hey,
And work.
marriage clause. Woo!
Yeah.
Is it common for people to just marry in Canada for like green card
a
visa?
green card? Like the equivalent? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, like, is that a common thing? Because, like, I know it happens in America. Like, even
I'm
here
sure
on the
it
East.
probably could. It could happen. I'm sure it does happen. Like, I mean, shouldn't say it could. I'm sure it does. I have not known anybody specifically that did that, so I can't say firsthand that yes, it happens. But like, I'm sure it does.
Like, I've witnessed it, and it's a weird thing, man. Like, I used to kick it with this chick, Bridget, and Bridget got herself in one of those situations with this dude, Sponsy. Sponsy was an Egyptian dude. His family came out here, started a business, and he basically cut a deal with this chick. I think the payment was like $1,000 a month for the next like couple of years until everything got settled and all the visits were over and all that. And then if she wanted a divorce, it's over. Good. Thank you for all your help. But like, straight up, she and her man would be, kicking it. We'd be smoking blunts or whatever, chilling in the trailer park. And all of a sudden, she'd just get a phone call from Sponsy. Hey, Wednesday, they're going to come by and do a visit. I need you to be here between these times. All right, cool. But yeah, don't forget to bring some stuff so it looks like you actually live here. And she'd just pack a bag. She'd go over, hang out at Sponsy's for like 5 hours, fucking play nice, make it look like they're a happy married couple, like everything's legit. And then after it was all said and done, she'd pack up her shit. She'd go home for fucking, a month or two until fucking Sponsy calls her up. Like, hey, I need you to come over. It's time again. Shit was wild, dude. Wild.
Yeah, man. $1,000 a month, though. I mean,
I'm just saying, right?
That's a big difference.
$1,000. It's. I get where she's coming from. Like, it was easy money. Because it's not like every month she had to go pretend to be this man's wife. It was just once every couple of months or whatever when they'd have to have like.
Dude, even if it was
visits.
once a month, if it's once a month, dude, and you got to put 5 hours in, that's $200 an hour. Guess what? I'd do that for $200 an hour.
Yeah, right.
Why not?
Well stated. Well stated. When you put it that way,
especially
I can't
if like you're
argue
young
with
and
that.
like who fucking cares? You know what I mean? Like.
And on top of that, like, it's not like Sponsy was a bad dude. He was just like, listen, like, I'm not even, like, I ain't trying to get involved with nobody. It's just, I don't want to go back to Egypt. I want to stay here.
Yeah, it was an out. It was just a thing that he had to get done.
Yeah, that was a weird part of my life, man. The trailer park, dude. Shit, man.
I'm sure that there was some pretty awesome people and some pretty interesting ones.
Yeah.
Some of them were awesome and interesting.
Like, I'll never forget this girl, Marilyn. I only ran into Marilyn one summer, but I'll tell you what, every time I saw Marilyn, she had to remind me that she was drunk and from Florida and she don't give a fuck.
Oh, really?
Dude, it was a riot. Like, just every time I'd see this chick in the neighborhood, she'd be wasted. And she'd be like, "Hi, what's going on?" And she's like, "You know why? Because I'm drunk and I'm from Florida and I don't give a fuck." And you just be shooting the shit.
Marilyn. Have a good one.
And she'd be like, "Yeah, because I'm drunk and I'm from Florida and I don't give a fuck." And I'm like, I love this chick. Like, you're a riot. You are a character. And, like, I saw her, like, maybe 3 times that summer and then never saw that chick again. And I thought to myself, her family was like, that bitch is drunken from Florida and she don't give a fuck. She can stay drunken from Florida.
Yeah, she can stay drunk in Florida.
For real. Oh, my God. Yeah, dude. I met this one friend of mine who is a published goth model and still does her thing to this day. But funniest thing, it was just walking down the street one day and somebody just pops their head out of the house and yells, hey you, dude with the ICP shirt. And I was like, well, that's obviously me. And I turn and there's this little chick with blue hair like, who are you? And I was like, what? And that's how we became friends. Like,
dude, clothes could do that though. Actually, at that job that I was talking about before, I actually like one of the dudes that I'm still friends with to this day, and like he's a good friend of mine. We met at that job, and he actually talked to me. Or no, wait, I talked to him because he had a band T-shirt on that, like, I thought like nobody would have known, and I loved them. So it was the first time I'd ever seen this kind of shirt ever, and I like saw this dude wearing it, and so that's what like basically struck our friendship up. So just like you with an ICP shirt.
I think the funny thing is she was not an ICP fan. It was just one of those like, if you listen to ICP, you probably listen to a lot of other things I like too. So who are you? We should be friends now. And I was like, all right. But like, I think that's also part of the like that trailer park dynamic in that time frame too, right? Because like my 2 closest friends in that neighborhood, we kind of met in a similar way. Like my boy at the infamous Sketchy, as you know, I've told many a story of him. We were just roaming around the neighborhood, hoping we could, you know, spot somebody who probably sold weed in the neighborhood. And I spot these 2 young dudes, looked around my age, his age, and they definitely looked like they were potheads. And we walked up to them, was like, what's up, yo? Like, you guys know where we can get some weed? And they were like, as a matter of fact, we do. We just picked up. I was like, really? And that became the beginning of our friendship. They smoked us up, called their dude, we bought some weed, we smoked some more weed, and that was the beginning of a beautiful friendship. The friendship that literally led to my boy who used to call me up for the daily and the daily doubles, because he was like, I got regular income, you sell weed, and he would just come to me every day for a fucking eighth of weed, sometimes a quarter, the daily or the daily double. And yeah, dude, like great fucking times. But at the same time, that's the same place that like I tried to grow weed, and one of the crackheads fucking in the neighborhood stole my plants and killed the wrong ones. Killed the females, not the males. Same crackhead broke into my house, stole my weed pipe, but then sold it to one of my weed customers, thinking I would never find out. And the kid hits me up like, hey, I need to get a new bag. I just bought this new pipe. And I'm like, oh, yeah? Yeah, come up and smoke with me. All right, cool. He comes to buy the bag and shows me his new pipe, and it's literally the pipe that got stolen from me. And I'm like, I'll double your bag for the pipe back. Sold! And then called the crackhead out, like, hey, Alan, how'd I get my pipe back? Funny that you sold it to Adam, huh? Like, Crackheads, man.
I don't think that far ahead, bro.
No.
You're just thinking about the next hit.
Crackheads, man.
As I've said, sometimes it pays to have crackheads in your life. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's your anniversary. You forgot to go shopping. You can call a crackhead and get yourself a really nice gold watch or
I
gold
thought you were
necklace.
going to say you can get yourself a really nice rock.
Like,
nah, they don't sell that shit, bro.
nah, he'll have a really nice piece of gold for you, and he'll only want $45, maybe $50. You're good to go. You got your wife all set. The catch, you got to make sure your crackhead's not from the same neighborhood as your family. Otherwise, that gold chain might already have belonged to your wife or somebody else you know.
Yeah, can you imagine that? Like, if you're just, you buy your, like, girlfriend, your wife, whatever, something, and then, like, you're out somewhere, and they're like, yo, that's fucking mine. Like, what the fuck?
I literally just imagine this scenario where it's like you go to the crackhead, you buy the gold bracelet, right? You give it to your wife. She goes to, like, her cousin's house for, like, a family event, and her cousin recognizes her recently stolen bracelet on your girl.
Yeah.
Like, how awful. Because now you got to come clean and be like, so here's the thing. I bought that from the crackhead down the street. He probably is the one who stole it from your house. My bad. Now you're in double hot water because you're supporting the crackhead by buying it from him. So the cousin's mad at you. Wife's mad at you because you just bought crackhead fucking gold for her. Yeah. it's gotta be very cautious if you play that game. But sometimes it pays. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, if the secret stays a secret, you look like a legend.
Hey, I mean, I'm just saying, back in the day, I got a really nice pair of Nike Battlegrounds from a crackhead because they were the wrong color. So, that works for me, man. He's like, nah, I'm a blood. I can't wear these blue Nikes. You can have them. Bet, Trey. Thank you. Don't rob me, please.
Don't think that you owe me.
No,
or you.
See, that's the fucked up thing. That dude Trey and his boy Basil came into the neighborhood, and the only bad thing they did was introduce people to crack. They were otherwise genuinely good neighbors in the neighborhood. They just turned a bunch of people into fucking crackheads.
Yeah, and some of them might not have been as good.
Like, their customers were the ones who robbed me, not them.
Yeah.
Like, they were always respectful and good to me. It was their customers who fucked with me because I sold weed. And they're like, well, I can't get no crack. I got to go rob the fucking weed man. Break into his house when he's not around. Steal some weed. Maybe he got some money somewhere in there.
He got some crack.
Like, you know you're getting robbed by some dumb motherfuckers when you can literally put the money, like, basically in the open, but because it's not in the dumb obvious place, like under the pillows or like that, they don't find it. Like, you know you're getting robbed by some dumb people. They're just like, oh, there's a bag of weed on the counter here and a pipe. I'm gonna steal that, even though, like, there's an ounce in the closet, and if you took 5 minutes, you would have found it.
I don't have enough time, dude. I got shit to do.
For real, we gotta go sell that ace so we can get some crack. Oh man, the trailer park. And with those rousing stories of trailer parks and crackhead fuckery, we've reached the end of our time. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to Uncle Chris to start bringing us home.
All right. Well, thanks. Thanks for that, Sean. I feel like more and more that Sean basically grew up in, like, Sunnyvale Light, you know? Like, it wasn't quite Trailer Park Boys, but, like, it's not Trailer Park Boys at the same time. So shout out to Sean for being who he is and living through that, having those life experiences to share with me. Appreciate you, bro. Well, I think that honestly, I'll just say shedtimepodcast.com. Check it out. Give us some 5-star reviews. Just enjoy the content that we work hard for and put out for you guys. And thanks for all the support. Check the 3 of us out on Friday nights on Frames, Janklin Vapors YouTube channel for the Green Room. Just come kick it. It's a good vibe. And I think that's going to be everything for me. So everybody be safe. Have a good week. Live your best life. James.
As always, shout out to all the Shedheads for all your guys' support. We greatly appreciate it. Make sure you guys check us out on Friday over on my YouTube channel for the Green Room. It's fun times over there, just hanging out with the boys. Of course, live chat interaction with you guys. Other than that, we'll be here in the shed doing what we always do. So I'm going to end it as I always do, sending out all those positive vibes. Crisp high fives. Don't forget to tell somebody you love them. And as always, a little bag or dab will do ya.
That's an absolute fact, ladies and gentlemen. And, of course, one last time, ShedTimePodcast.com has links to everything you could possibly want or need regarding Shedtime Podcast. And, of course, if you want to support some of our friends who support us, check out SteelValleyVapors.com. There's Breeze Tones coils available there and so much more. Use the code SHEDTIME and get yourself a little discount, and you'll be glad you did. So with all of that, I'm going to tell you, don't let the bastards get you down. Be cool, don't be a dick, and whatever it is that you do, be sure and have some fun, because it's the Shedtime Podcast, and it's time to roll on up and roll on out.
Dynavap, Dynavap, Dynavap. Looking to cut the cord on your dry herb vape? Dynavap. Trying to get the best taste from your herb? Dynavap. Ready to take your sesh to the next level? Then meet Dynavap, the best way to vape your flower or concentrate. Concentrates? That's right. Your flower or hash can be vaped using Dynavap. Check out Dynavap.com to learn more. That's Dynavap.com. Lose the ash? Dynavap.
What's going on, Shedheads? It's your boy, Frames Janklin. Are you looking to step up your match game or have a raw copper, brass, or stainless mod or RDA that you're absolutely tired of polishing? Then you need to go and hit up my man Ashton of Palmer's Powders. He does some absolutely amazing powder coating work. He offers many different colors and finishes at an absolutely killer price. This man is taking powder coating to a whole new level, and he can make your setup an absolute masterpiece. You can go follow him over on Instagram at Palmer's Powders, and you can go check out pricing on his website, palmerspowders.com. That's palmerspowders.com. And as always, let's just vape on, Shedheads.
I want you to think of your favorite rebuildable right now. Yeah, okay, so you have a layer cake in your hand, and now you're about... Oh, sorry, yeah, that's not everyone's favorite. That's just mine. So think of your favorite rebuildable atomizer. Think about how good of a vape it produces for you. Now, take that and amplify it. And the way that you amplify that is you put in some Breezestone coils. Breezestone coils are handcrafted in Adelaide, Australia. They're made from some of the finest quality wire that you can get. I believe it's wire Buddha. You take those coils, you take them out of that phenomenal packaging that clearly shows how much care that Adam puts on the quality of his coils and the insurance that you get them in good shape. You put them in that favorite RDA, and guess what? You have coils that now sing better than Celine Dion. Go check out Breezestone coils. You can find them on localvape.com and also steelvalleyvapors.com. Solid.
Or blow one up and blow one out.
Facts.